What's up guys? If you don't know me, my name is Jeremy. I have the highest day in organic dropshipping, $93,000 day. I'll show you right here. And I hit a $340,000 month right here. And I have over $500,000 in lifetime revenue doing organic dropshipping. So I'm just getting that out of the way so you guys know that I will provide you value and that I know what I'm talking about. So this is gonna be the organic dropshipping bootcamp. Every bootcamp video that I drop will have so much value, so much information that I promise you guys you will be easily making thousands of dollars if you apply every single one of the things I tell you. Now, the way this bootcamp works is you cannot advance to the next video until you apply and do everything from the current video. So this first video, this is product research. Once that's done, feel free to move on to the next video. Now, these videos will be strictly for education and value. If you guys want anything other than that, then please click off. I promise you I will be sitting here giving you raw game for like 40 minutes each episode. So the first step in starting organic dropshipping is setting up a burner account and doing product research. That's gonna be the first step that you're gonna do. Now, what is a burner account? A burner account is where you're gonna be doing 90% of your product research, if not 95% of your product research. A burner account is just another TikTok and another Instagram account where you're gonna be using it strictly to find other dropshipping products. So you're gonna be scrolling, and obviously that's how you're gonna find a new product. If you're outside of the US, I would highly recommend using a VPN and even using a SIM card from Amazon. If you can afford a new phone on Amazon, like $200, $300, please go ahead. If not, you can use your personal phone and a VPN such as NordVPN or Surfshark or whatever else you can find. Make sure you have a good VPN. Cheap ones will disconnect for milliseconds a bunch of times. And if you're on TikTok and TikTok sees that you're disconnecting from USA back and forth from, for example, me, I live in Canada. Let's say I was pinging my location, Canada, US, every single second, they're gonna ban my account thinking I'm a robot. So create new accounts. We're gonna start with TikTok. You're gonna go on TikTok, obviously create your account. Once you have your brand new account, you're gonna want to optimize your For You page to find only dropshipping products. Now, the way you do this is that my method is you go in the search bar and I want you to search these specific sentences. The perfect gift for A. Don't show this to A. 3, 2, 1, let's see how it comes out. With those 3 sentences, you will be able to find more than enough videos to optimize your For You page to non-burner prone dropshipping products. A lot of people will tell you to search up TikTok made me buy it. I highly recommend you do not do that because you're gonna be on the worst side of the burner possible. Searching up these terms that I just gave you, you will be seeing videos that are actively using these titles, actively using these hooks, which these are hooks that always do good, they always perform well, and you'll be on the good side of the burner. So after you search, you're just gonna scroll your search feed and engage as much as possible. Rewatch every video once or twice, like every video, comment on every video, even save them if you want, and just repeat that for a good 5, 10, 15 minutes. And then you can go back to your For You page, refresh that, and then eventually your For You page will be filled with just drop shipping products, and that's exactly what you want. So once your burner is optimized, we're gonna do the same exact thing on Instagram. So create the account, search those key phrases, interact with all those videos, and then refresh your reels, and you should be able to see only drop shipping products. Now, if you are slightly advanced, another very, very good tip I have for you is use another phone. I have 2 phones that I do product research on, and I have even better methods. I have one phone that has a VPN targeted to East Coast and the other phone targeted to West Coast. So one I have on LA and one I have on New York, the VPN I'm talking about. This will basically give you completely different burner like For You pages, and you're not gonna rinse your current burner on your phone. This makes product research so much easier, so much simpler because you're not seeing the same products. With 2 accounts, it basically feels like you're scrolling the burner on someone else's phone. From here, there's a specific criteria that you're gonna want to choose to select your product. So now I'm gonna list off the criteria, and I want you guys to write this down because this is super important when doing product research. Now, these aren't in a specific order, but I will tell you the ones that are way more important than the other ones. So this one is really important. A product that is problem solving or value providing. You need a product to solve an issue. It's super important for your conversion. Providing value can be making someone's life easier, making them be able to do something faster or better, or just doing something more practical. It can also mean providing an experience or even providing emotional value. Let me explain these terms. So providing emotional value, this could be if someone's pet died, you can give them a product that's gonna provide them emotional value to reminisce on their pet, right? Like a digital frame or maybe a necklace that shows their pet through it, right? This is gonna give them that emotional value. It's also gonna give like slight of an experience, but it's more of an emotional thing. A product that gives an experience, I can give a really good one. Let's say jewelry holders, let's say like those teddy bear things where you flip them open and it shows a ring. That's more of an experience product. Same as advent calendars for Christmas, those are experience. They provide value in the way that they provide you with an experience. So problem solving is obviously going to be if someone has back pain, then if the product solves their back pain, that's solving their problem. Even making someone's life easier, like making something easier, making something more accessible, or just making something more practical for someone. Just like the smoker niche where it's a tray that makes you smoke easier, smokes faster, smokes cleaner. This is gonna be a product that provides value. Now, number 2, another really important criteria is gonna be wow factor or virality. You are gonna want your product to have a wow factor or virality, because if the product is too boring or it's too generic or if it's too like widely available, too many people have seen it, it's gonna be really hard to go viral. A viral product typically includes some sort of viral factors, whether it's some sort of emotional attachment or just something super cool about it. Like it lights up, it has LEDs, it does something unique, it moves in a specific way, just something that attracts people's attention and gets them intrigued, right? They don't know what they're looking at, whatever it may be. This is super important because as organic dropshippers, we want to go viral. You can't go viral if you're showing a really generic fork. If I have a fork, I can't go viral with a fork, right? Nobody cares. But if I have this super cool thing with LEDs on it, and then people swipe and they see, oh, LEDs, super cool, that's gonna give them that stop. They're gonna be looking at their phone and they're gonna be super into it. So a wow factor and virality is super important to be able to go viral. Now this next one kind of ties in with wow factor and virality, but having a product that sparks emotion or is aesthetically pleasing, you can also do this within your content and filming, and I'll talk about that in another episode of the bootcamp when we talk about filming. However, some products have the emotion and the aesthetically pleasing parts built into them. Like I said earlier, let's say a frame that's showing your dead dog. The emotion is within the product, right? The emotion is with the dog, with reminiscing on the past. Whereas if you're selling a camera, we've seen a lot of these cameras where it's not just a camera, it captures aesthetic or it captures a specific era, like it films in a specific way. It ties people emotionally to that kind of aesthetic of these like retro cameras, and that's what's kind of building the aesthetic part of the product. This is not necessary for every product. However, it will be a lot easier to go viral if your videos and products are all aesthetically pleasing and they spark emotion. Sparking emotion, I believe, is honestly one of the most important things in your video to go viral and to convert. However, sparking emotion is not exclusive to the product. It can also be part of your content, which we will talk about later in another episode. With the sparking of emotion, that's gonna create the impulse buy for the customer, and that's gonna be really good on your end. You wanna make your videos touch someone emotionally and persuade them to buy it, basically. A very important product criteria is that your product is not sold locally. You do not wanna be selling something that you can buy at Walmart or at the dollar store or just at any general store. People will already see this, people will already know where to buy it. They don't want to buy it from you, they'll buy it from Walmart. I don't really need to explain this further, but if you can buy it at Walmart, don't dropship it unless it's something that is completely different, right? As if you have, let's say you have a bottle that does something cool. You know, you can buy water bottles at Amazon, but if you have a water bottle that does something unique, that could be a product that you're selling. I'm not saying that's a good product, I'm just saying an example. Now, this one is another very important one. Your product has a targeted audience, and even more important, it has a passionate niche. Typically, for a massive winning product, you're gonna need a targeted audience and a passionate niche. You shouldn't be running any product in a random, unknown niche. If you can't tell what niche you're running your product in, then honestly don't even run it, because you need to target your videos specifically to a group of people. If not, your video's targeting will be so awful, no one is gonna buy, you're not gonna convert. Now, it's still possible to make money with a product that's not specifically targeted in a niche. However, I promise you, if you niche down your product, you will get a lot more sales and you'll have a better conversion rate. Let me expand on this a bit, because there's some products that don't really have a niche. For example, a camera. What niche is the camera in? It's not necessarily photography, like that chest camera that everyone knows about. You can run that in the horse niche, you can run that in the baseball niche, you can run that in a sports niche, and etc. You can choose the niche, but the point is to niche down into something that's passionate. The reason baseball and horse niche and golf niche, all these niches do good is because not only are they targeted, but they're passionate. A targeted niche and a passionate niche are completely different. A targeted niche could be soccer players. A passionate niche is a niche that is passionate about buying stuff that they're into. For example, golf players. Golf players are passionate about buying golf things. However, soccer players are not really into buying soccer things. I'll give you an example. If you're selling Ronaldo posters, which I highly recommend you do not, that's the soccer niche. But just because it's the soccer niche, which is a targeted niche, does not mean that it is passionate. People will not buy Ronaldo posters. Now, I will say some niches are better than others. The golf niche, for example, the horseback riding niche. These are very good niches because think about the people that are doing these activities. Golf players have money to spend. People that ride horses, equestrians you call them, they have money to spend. They have disposable income. To be able to do these activities, you already need to somewhat have money. Not to mention, the targeting on golf players is a lot better because think about it. If you're targeting golf, you're not targeting Africa or India. You're really gonna hit North America and these places that actually convert. Whereas if you're doing anime niche, you're gonna be targeting a lot of international, a lot of Asian, and it's gonna be a lot harder with the targeting aspect. So just keep that in mind when you're choosing a product. Obviously, you do not want to be too picky. Another decently important thing is you have to have multiple video ideas for this product. If you want a long-term product, you have to know of at least a couple video ideas, video concepts, and this might be hard for beginners. However, once you get into a bit, this will be a lot easier for you, I promise. If you only have one concept and you use that concept and you don't go viral, then what are you gonna do? You need to know the other concepts, you need to know the other videos, and for most products, this is easy. However, there's some really hard products where sometimes you just can't even think of other videos to post, and if you do post that video concept and you don't go viral, it might be impossible to even go viral. So this is just a little lower on the criteria, not super important. Just always keep that in mind. If you don't know how to film for a product or if you don't know what you're gonna do, then chances are you shouldn't run it because you'll just be wasting your time. Next criteria kind of ties in with that one, but able to film good quality videos. Now, I learned this on my first product that I tested ever. It was a party/club niche item. And the thing is, I don't go to the club, I don't go partying, I don't go to bars. I have no idea about the lingo, I have no idea about anything. And the point is that you want to play to your strengths. If I have an ice hockey product, if I don't have access to an ice rink, then I probably shouldn't be running that product. You don't want to run a pet product if you don't have pets. Play into your strengths and don't take products that you can't film for. This should be somewhat common sense, but just use your best judgment. If you see a winning product and it's in the dog niche, but you don't have a dog, don't run it. Plain and simple. Now I have an example. I play golf. I used to run a golf product. I know the lingo, I know the language, I know some of the terms of golf. So in my hooks, I'm able to say, send this to someone who can't make par. Not only am I using the right words for the right niche, but this also helps the targeting 100 times more because only golf players will be interacting with a video that has golf lingo. People that don't play golf will not interact on a video that says par in it because that's a golf term. So all in all, play to your strengths, use what you know to your advantage, and this will help you in the long run. So that's my main criteria before choosing a product. Now, once I choose that product, before I order it, I have another set of criteria. The most important thing is you're gonna want to have at least a 2 to 3x markup on your product. So if you're getting your product for $10 from your supplier, you wanna be able to sell it for at least $20 to $30. In organic dropshipping, we want at least 50 to 80% margins, if not 60 to 80% margins. If you don't have perceived value, if you don't have a markup of at least 2 to 3 times, then it might not be worth it to run the product. Obviously, there's products that have lower margins. It's up to you if you want to run them, but this is just kind of a loose criteria that I use. Another super important thing is I will never sell something that is less than $15. If I'm getting something for $5 from a supplier and the perceived value is $15 or less, I'm just not gonna sell it because $15 is too low of an average order value. What I would do in that case would be set up a bundle and then maybe sell 2 for $30 instead of 1 for $15, and that would solve my problem. However, maybe some products are not bundleable, so keep that in mind. You don't want to sell a product under $15. I feel like it's just not worth your time because people will think the product is, first of all, cheap. If it's $15, they'll think it's just like some plastic Chinese whatever. So just don't waste your time with that. Now, another super important thing is that you want to make sure you're able to source your product from a supplier. This is a criteria for maybe more advanced people after you've already tested a couple of products. As a beginner, don't worry about this too much. You just want to get the reps in with product research and filming and so on. But a couple times I actually ran products where I could not source them for the life of me. And obviously you don't want to waste your time going viral with a product you can't even source. So just double check before on CJ Dropshipping or with your other suppliers if you can actually source it. Now, another thing that's pretty important is check how many stores are currently running your product. I would say if you see a product being run for maybe more than 2 months, you might want to check back and see if it's worth running it. And if you see like 10 competitors all running the same product in the same angle, then either don't run the product or run it in a different angle, target it to different people, right? If 10 people are running a camera in, let's say, the golf niche, I know that doesn't really make sense, then target the camera to horseback riders. So either don't run it or target a different audience. But basically, you just want to make sure that you're not hopping into a market that's already saturated. You can either use the product to get into a different market, or you can find a new variant, a new color, maybe a new size or a new style of that same product, and you can still get into the market and take some of that share. However, this is once again a bit more for advanced people, and for those beginners, I would just get your reps in. Now, this goes back to something I said earlier, but are you able to film for the videos? Don't buy a product that you need a dog to film for if you don't have a dog. It's pretty straightforward. You can obviously make AI clips, use Sora, etc., but I would not recommend this. I would just recommend play to your strengths. So once again, double check that you can actually film for the product. One of the most important things, if you are advanced or if you have some money to play for, you can test order people's stores. Now, what does this mean? This means if you find a product that checks all your criteria and you want to start testing it, before you order it yourself, you can actually go to a competitor's page, go on their store, and place an order to see what your order number is to see if they're actually making money. Now, most of the time people will have shipping protection, so you can just purchase the shipping protection for a couple of dollars and you will still get an email showing your order number. The way Shopify works is that the orders start from 1,000. So if you test order someone and your order is 1,050, that means they've had 50 sales. Now, what this means is after you test order someone and you check your confirmation email for their order number, you can see, okay, they have 50 orders. Now you want to go on their Instagram and their TikTok and count up all of their views. So for example, if they have a video with 10,000 views, you'll add that to 20,000, 300,000, 40,000, 20,000, 10,000. All their video views, add them up between both platforms and put them together. Let's say between both platforms, in total, they've gathered 1 million views. If they gathered 1 million views and they have 50 orders, then we just need to find the average order value. So for this example, we're just gonna say that their product, they only had one product, no bundles, and it was $50. So we're gonna assume the average order value was $50. So now we're just gonna do 50 orders times the $50 average order value to get to $2,500 in revenue. That's gonna be the amount of revenue that the store has generated. And with 1 million views, this means they're currently converting at $2,500 per every million views that they get. 2,000 is kind of the benchmark, the minimum you want to go. Anything under that might not be worth it for you. However, there's some products that convert a lot less, like maybe $1,000 per million views. However, those products might be a lot easier to go viral. So the trade-off is that you're getting views a lot easier, but your conversion rate is a lot less. So once again, if you have money to play with, I would highly recommend test ordering people. If you cannot buy the shipping protection, then unfortunately you will have to buy the product yourself and spend a bit of extra money on that. One more thing, if you are test ordering, you might receive a test order confirmation email with a number mixed with a bunch of letters, and it's just completely messed up. It's not a 4-digit order number. If you get this, unfortunately, you are basically cooked. You're gonna have to reorder because the confirmation email just messed up and you won't be able to see the number. So you'll have to place another order to actually see the number. Now, once you have done all of this and you're finally able to find a product, you will go on Amazon and you're gonna order that exact same product on Amazon, get that primed to your house the next day or in the next 2 days, however fast you can get it. And that is basically going to be it for the product research. This is absolutely everything you need to know to find a banger product. All of these criterias I've gathered throughout my entire year of doing organic dropshipping while making hundreds of thousands of dollars. Do not go to the next bootcamp video until you applied every single piece of information from this video and you have your product ordered and it's on the way. Once you have a product ordered, you can go ahead to the next video and start that video. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to DM me anything on Instagram. I will answer everybody. I'm super open. Just give me specific questions. Peace out.